Hello, everyone. We're reading the final chapter, chapter 28 of Del Toro Moon by Darby Carshut. Brogo insisted I ride with him. He blew off his injury with a horsely raspberry. Gotta finish the mission. What are you, some kind of equine marine? I joked as Dad helped us up. I guess he noticed my legs were still wobbly. Semperfi. Here. Ben handed my weapon. I thought he was going to say something smart alecky or Ben alecky. Instead, he held out his fist. You did a good job. You did good, little brother. I bumped it. Thanks. Or little sister, I should say. There it was. We headed home, the sun in our eyes and one nightmare of a day behind us. Reaching the intersection of the maze, Roman and Vasco paused. To my surprise, Ben and Izzy offered to go along. Oh, I think Vasco and I can handle it. The hunter patted his mace. Roped to the cantle, the red casket rested behind him, on the gray stallion's broad haunch. After all, El Laberinto is now free of monsters. But the supernatural vacuum may have missed some. We don't know for sure, as he said. Better to have backup and not need it. Yada yada yada. After Ben and Roman rode away, the four of us continued. Dad led the way, talking to Turk in a quiet voice. The shakes kept hitting me. I scrubbed my face to distract myself. Rigo glanced back. Talk about one crazy bat hunt. I nodded. I can't believe it's all over. And that the Skinners are all locked up, at least for a while. I taped the mace hanging from the saddle for good luck. I tapped, sorry. Even better, you guys know what to do if they get out again. Yeah, Team Del Toro just missing one member. Sorrow almost knocked me out of my saddle. I squeezed the horn until my fingers turned white. Right then, I would have given anything for El Cid to be with me, arguing with Turk and trading obscure references with Dad, and telling me how proud he was of me. I hope so, anyway. As if he read my thoughts, Rigo spoke again. And I meant what I said earlier about Cid. Wish I'd known him. A wisp of an idea filtered through my head. I studied Rigo as he walked along, his gait nimble and light, with only a trace of limp. The idea grew. It felt wrong and right at the same time. I wondered if I should talk to Dad about it first, but then I was pretty sure I knew what he'd say. Maybe I should go to talk to El Cid first. Would he hear me, wherever he was? Or would he think I was betraying him? I twisted the horsehair bracelet around my wrist. Okay, here it goes. El Cid, would it hurt your feelings if I ask Rigo if he wants to stay? He wouldn't be taking your place. No one ever would. No one ever will. Not ever. Not to me. But we can use the help, just in case. I held my breath and waited. Nothing. Right. Didn't think so. Stupid idea. I sighed and glanced up. An enormous thunderhead floated over the mountains, backlit by the setting sun. It gleamed like pale gray marble. It rolled and tumbled toward me, molded by the wind. It took on a new shape, an oh so familiar shape. Tears blurred my vision. I blinked furiously. The image of a gray horse, with arched neck and flowing white mane, appeared. It seemed to toss its head, as if nodding to me. Then the wind hurried it onward and sent it to steed racing through the sky. I watched it until it faded away. Make room, Matt. Suddenly I realized what El Cid's last words meant. I sniffed, then wiped my nose. Okay then. I cleared my throat. Rigo, I want to ask you something. Hit me. I was wondering if you'd like to. I hesitated. Big question, after all. Like to what? I took a deep breath. To stay. Stay where? He asked, uncertainty in his voice. Here, in Colorado, at the ranch with us. Permanently? As long as you want. We could, be a team, or at least give it a try. Rigo walked along in silence. Then, yeah, I think I'd like that. Me too. And it wasn't that a straight up wonder that I had room. Hey, doofus! The next afternoon, Ben struck his head on the bedroom we were still sharing. Your girlfriend's here, with her mom. In the midst of pulling on a clean t-shirt, I was wrestling my face free and glared at him. I told you before, Perry's not my... Whatever. He disappeared. By the time I got to the porch, Dad was introducing Dr. Vandermeer to Roman and Kathleen. Perry was already by the barn, talking to Izzy, their noses practically touching. As I walked past, I heard Dad offering to drive Dr. Vandermeer to the maze to collect her car. What about the Skinners? The scientist said, it like she couldn't believe she was actually saying it. They are imprisoned in the coffer. Dad took her elbow. I will explain. As they went inside, I overheard Dr. Vandermeer mentioning something about Aubrey and a black market for rare artifacts. That's why he wanted the red casket, I guessed. Turk had been right. I joined Izzy and Perry. I hope she wouldn't want to talk about El Cid. What if she got all weepy? Worse, what if I did? I decided to head off the whole scene. Your mom handling this pretty good? It dawned on me that Perry was handling it even better. For being a scientist, all not too shabby. She looked down and dragged a toe through the dirt. Listen, Matt, I want to say something. I froze. At that moment, Rigo sauntered around the corner of the barn, ears pricked. Then I heard the voices. You must be Perry. I slumped in Ruby's. Talk about timing. Izzy and Rigo took turns telling Perry about yesterday. It was insane hearing what happened from their point of view. They actually made me sound brave, daring, heroic, total opposite of how I felt. You know what, Matt Del Toro? Perry said after the horses finished. What? You really are a knight. Fighting on horseback with a magical weapon, vanishing monsters to protect the innocent villagers and all that? My ears grew warm. I never thought of myself in that way. Kind of cool that she did. Perry? Dr. Vandermeer stepped out onto the porch. Time to go. Just a second, Mom. She grabbed my hand and tugged me inside the barn and over to one side. How are you doing? Still holding my hand, she peered into my face. I knew what she was asking. I started to brush off her question, then stopped, because I did want to talk about El Cid, even though it hurt just thinking about him. Okay, I guess. I keep forgetting he's gone. And I'll walk outside to tell him something, or to ask him something, then I remember. I sighed. It's like getting punched in the stomach over and over. She didn't say anything, just nodded and squeezed my hand before letting go. Here, this is what I wanted to tell you earlier. She pulled a folded sheet of paper out of her back pocket and handed it to me. I wrote this for you. On the inside, she'd drawn my family's coat of arms. I started to unfold the paper. Wait, she laid it a hand over mine. Read it after I leave, okay? Barry, her mother called. Any time before winter. I almost missed the quick hug she gave me. Almost then. Almost. Then she was gone. Setting the drawing, I wandered over to the ladder leading up to the loft. With the Navarre still visiting, our house was too crowded to read my first note from a girl. I climbed up and sat on the edge, feet dangling. Dust motes floated in the air around me, tiny flickers in the shaft of sunlight. I unfolded the paper and smoothed it out on my knee. Matt, you know how Strider had a poem that Bilbo composed for him to explain to the world who this lonely guy wandering around Middle Earth really was? You know, the one the all that glitters is not gold, not all those who wander are lost poem. Well, I thought, why not, Matt? So I wrote you one. And yeah, I'm too chicken to watch your face in person while you read it. It's my first attempt at this sort of thing. Don't judge me. Here's the deal. If you don't like it, burn it. We'll pretend it never happened. If you do like it, then let me know that too. The title, by the way, is Del Toro Moon. You can probably guess why. Here goes. Empty coffer marks the rise of evil old that seeks the prize, to feast on blood and flesh and fear, our trembling souls dwelling near. Yet one will come during dreadfall, need armed with iron mason's steed, one who slays the ancient foe and vanquished knight, Del Toro. Oh my gosh, that was cringe. Whoa, I read it again, my lips moving silently. Is that how she really saw me? I debated showing it to Dad and Ben. Okay, just Dad. And, oh man, Elsa sure would have gotten a kick out of it. But in the end, I kept the poem to myself. For now, who knows? Maybe someday I'll even live up to Perry's words. And that is the end of Del Toro Moon. Thank you guys for listening to all this. It started out because I couldn't find an audiobook for me to listen to, so yeah, it was kind of fun. If you guys want me to, I'll do the next book that we read in language arts. I don't know. Just comment or like if you want. Thank you. Please subscribe and like and comment, and thank you for listening. Goodbye.